Okay, this is the end of sauna session number 3. We've ironed out all the kinks and we really got it cooking. Definitely probably got up to 80 degrees Celsius, if not higher, especially when I put the water on the stones. And we just did 20 minutes and right now it's steaming out. Let's see what the weather is in here. Of course, I still have the door open. Let's see so I'm clocked in at, if you can see that, 67. Try to clean this. $66, $65, and this is with the zipper open right now. So as you can tell, it was super cooking in here when everything was closed, and I had the vent closed and the rocks going with the water, and I'd even end up using half the water. I was using this sauna bucket that has 4-liter capacity, and I only ended up using half of it because it was really smoking in here. Yeah, look at that. So the fire is still kind of going. So as you can see, let's see if I can focus. And we're gonna let it die out. But this was a good session. Pro tip, I mean, I was a little bit worried about using this stainless steel spoon with the sauna bucket, but as long as you keep it low to the ground, because the cold air, well, I mean, it's the winter here, so the cold air from the ground actually keeps this cool, so you're not going to burn yourself when you grab the spoon. However, I did find that, especially when this thing got really steamy and hot, that these zippers here, even the cloth part that you're supposed to hold and not hold the metal, that part was even hot. So I needed to use the oven mitts to pull on them. I did find that the oven mitts are kind of not the best quality, and they're easy to rip and rough up. So maybe get your own like heat-proof gloves or mitts. But beyond that, yeah, even these ones too were super hot when I was trying to escape the sauna. As you can see, I bought this sauna thermostat, but I don't think it's very precise. So right now you can see it's at 60, which is, let me see what the gun says. Well, the gun says 54 right now, and actually it's kind of similar. But definitely, like, when it was about like 80 in here, like, it was still kind of like a little bit below 60. So yeah, these kind of sauna thermostats are not actually that precise, but you kind of get the idea that the heat's going up. And if you can get a gauge for your own kind of tolerance for heat, you can kind of tell that, okay, this is above 70, this is above 80. But other than that, it's been a pretty good experience. I mean, it took a few runs. Like, I had to get better stones for sure. I had to make it convenient for me to be able to pour the extra water by getting this bucket. I had to make sure I had enough firewood ready so I wasn't having to run out and cut more to keep that fire going pretty strongly. I had to build this chair, $99, but it's a much better deal than trying to buy a cedar bench. And if it's just me sitting out here, it's not that big of a deal. But maybe I will get a bench so that we can have more people in here, especially in the summer. It's gonna, not the summer, but like the spring and the warmer months. This might be a lot more popular. I have been leaving the tent. Let me go outside. So I have been leaving the tent up, even in this winter cold. And it's done all right. So it hasn't blown away or anything. But of course, we haven't had a significant snow where I'd had to be worried about like snow getting down the pipe or anything like that. But for sure, there's a little bit of frost on, the top skylight. And, and when I first turned on the stove and it started to heat up, then you would have a little bit of dripping of like the condensation because of that cold. So it'd be raining in there. So if you bring in your wood, your extra wood, then that could get wet. So you have to be a little bit careful of that. So maybe just let it drip for a bit and then go in. But I think it took probably about, I want to say like a good 15 to 20 minutes to get to a temperature where I wanted to go in. Maybe we could do it. I'm sure you can do it faster if you get the fire going really well and then just start dumping the steam, the water onto the rocks. But if you want that dry heat, you want it to really heat up from that dry heat at first, then you really have to like be meticulous with the way that you do the wood and the starting of the fire. So I did find that, especially here, in the winter in Toronto, it's been like -20 a lot of days the last few days. What we've had to do is to use paper. So we just use a little bit of paper inside to help get the fire started, and then the bigger pieces of wood that are probably cold by then can help can catch, because we were having a hard time getting the fire started. Because even if like the little pieces started to spark and catch fire, the bigger pieces had a harder time catching fire, and the fire might go out at the beginning. So once we figured that all out, it's a lot easier once you get that paper in there. Um, so yeah, it's been a pretty good run. Like, it does, feel comfortable in there, and feel it gets really hot. I mean, like, a lot of times you go to the gym sauna, like I go to the sauna at LA Fitness, and the temperature can go up to 90 degrees Celsius, but they're measuring the temperature, right near the stove. And if you're sitting farther away, on the bench, and people are coming in and out of the door, then that can really affect what the relative temperature is for you. So it'd be interesting for me to bring my temperature gun in there and try to really figure out how hot it is in the actual LA Fitness sauna versus this one, because it feels really smoking sometimes in this one, because it's so small and the heat is like really packed in there. So that is, yeah, that kind of concludes my review of the MORZH tent sauna. For durability, like, it remains to be seen how long this thing will last, especially if you're using it in the winter weathers. Um, but so far, it's pretty convenient, pretty handy. I'm gonna be able to use this, over the weekend until I can go back to the LA Fitness sauna. You do need a decent amount of firewood, so that is, a cost. That, depending on, what the cost of firewood in your area is and how easily accessible it is, it could run you, I don't know, like $4 to $10 per per sauna use, in terms of the cost of your wood. The sauna itself was what, like 1,300 after, all the duties and import and all these different things. And then you end up buying a bench for another $100, and then the bucket and the sauna stones for another 160. And yeah, prices have been inflated here, so I'm sure you could have got it cheaper in other times. But in total, it's probably set me back like maybe 1,500 or 1,600 or something like that, Canadian dollars. But of course, this is way, way cheaper than if we built like a barrel sauna or, something crazy like that. So yeah, so overall, it's a pretty good deal. It's pretty fun. And I can imagine if you have guests over and they can all hop in the sauna, it'll be a pretty good experience. So if you can make it as convenient as possible to get in and out, have a nice system in terms of like your robe and your your changing station, and having all the tools you need, the igniter, the wood, the axe, everything that you need at hand to make it as efficient as possible, then you can kind of simulate that spa or gym sauna experience, and make it pretty easy to get in and out. All right, peace.